and basically just like lived my life by the motto of like, just do it for the plot, which is like still literally the case to this day.
Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say thank you so much for watching. I hope that you would just take a second to subscribe wherever it is that you're watching this, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Just take a second to subscribe because that obviously helps me bring more amazing guests on the show and then deliver amazing content. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let's get into it. Kendall, welcome to the What She Needed podcast. I'm so happy that you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kendall Strampel. Before we dive into it, I want you to tell people who you are, what you do, and what makes you so fucking fabulous.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Let's see if I can hype myself up. Yeah, I'm a wealth and business coach. I started off in the fitness coaching industry. I made 7 figures within the first 3 years of scaling my coaching business, kind of like accidentally, and like didn't even really know that I was building a personal brand. It was more like I had gotten on social media because I wanted to have a food diary, which is so silly, but I ended up like sharing a lot of my journey, and that kind of transpired into me building a fitness coaching business and dropping out of college, moving across the country, and basically just like lived my life by the motto of like, just do it for the plot, which is like still literally the case to this day. I basically like got my start on social media, and from there it just kind of transpired into basically the pandemic hit, and people were like, dude, how are you doing this whole like online thing? Like I just lost my job at the gym, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll like try and teach people this whole social media thing and like building a coaching business online. And that ended up becoming what at the time was called Elevate Coaching Academy, which then I had this like huge awakening where I was like, I think I'm supposed to help women. Like I had grown up like not really loving women my whole life and being terrified of them, which is so crazy to think that now I'm the founder of the Wealth Women's Business Academy. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I do. I help women build a personal brand using social media, and I help them build and scale with systems that give them more freedom and more time back.
Well, yes, that's what you do, but that's definitely not who you are.
100%.
Like, she's, like, you're listening to this or watching this, like, she's such a rock star, and I was, like, so excited to have you in person on this podcast. So to hear you say that you were not a girl's girl, or not, like, not a girl's girl, but you were not a fan, tell me, I'm interested, tell me about that, because I feel like growing up, I was the exact same way. I had, like, girls loved me and hated me. Like, it was one or the other.
Totally.
I had more guy friends than girlfriends. I was always more of a tomboy, to be fair. Like, because I grew up really close with my brother.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, I was, like, climbing trees and, like, scraping my knees. And, like, I only know how to do my hair and makeup because of my older sister. So, yes, tell us about this and the transition.
Gosh, so where do you start with any of this? I mean, like my backstory, and like, you know, it kind of goes to like childhood or whatever, but I grew up with a mom who I'm traditional old English woman. If you have foreign parents, you know.
Yes.
You know what is good. Like my mom is just an older traditional English woman who is just love her to death, but like kind of cold, you know, not super feminine, like definitely like
she's British.
Love you, Dad, but like wore the pants. And so like I grew up with that as like my model for like what a woman is. And like my mom didn't have like a ton of friends or anything like that. She was like literally an immigrant and like, you know, didn't really assimilate to like American culture and all those things super well. And so like that was my like, okay, this is what I have to look at as like a woman. And like my grandmother and my family, they're just very like hard hitters, like, you know, like bless her though, because I would not be the woman that I am today if I didn't have like her grit and tenacity and like no bullshit attitude. Yeah. And so I feel like growing up like you, oh my gosh, I was wearing my brother's like FIFA Premier League jerseys, like jerseys, you know, like watching my brother play like Call of Duty. I sat at the lunch table with all the boys. Like I never really like got along with girls like growing up. It just like wasn't. Even if I look back at it now, I'm like, what was it about me that like maybe didn't? I think it was just an insecurity on my end. I also think there was an aspect of like, I also grew up being an actor and a model, and so like I did that where like I was around a lot of women, but I was just like always very assured of myself. Like the one thing my mom gave me was like, be fucking confident, you know? And like I'm so grateful for that, but I think that sometimes that comes across as like arrogance or whatever else. And so growing up I felt like I was always pretty like secure in myself, but just like never really assimilated like with girls. I didn't understand the whole like doing their makeup, and I also I've always gnarly ADHD. My brain has always worked so fast that it was like, even in high school and going into like my first year of college before I left, it was like, I was always like so obsessed with like bigger things than just like, and no shit. Like now I love being a woman. I love being a woman when traded for the world. Literally.
Same.
Oh my God. I know you get it, but it's just, it's
like my favorite thing. I love being a woman. I love, and like, I have grown to be so much more feminine now at 37.
Yeah, this is like what we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, this is like I've grown to be so much more feminine than I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I was surviving in my 20s. Like, I was totally like, I was a backpacker. I was a broke backpacker starting my business. And where you are now, like, I am like, of course she's successful. And I cannot, like, when I think of you 10 years from now, I'm like, yo, she's going to be, like, guys, she's 27, right?
27, yeah.
27. I'm 10 years older than her. Just think about that for a second. And, like, who you are and the hustler that you are and everything that you've been through, we're going to get through, like, to your story because, like, she started very young. And it was all very serendipitous, too.
Well, yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, very much like for the plot. And I think like that was a little bit of like where I started to trust leaning into my feminine, like being a little bit more flowy and things like that. But I mean, like I said earlier, it's like that's just who I was. And I think it was a matter of, you know, I watched my parents lose it all in probably like, 6th or 7th grade. And it was like, okay, like I never want to have to be in survival mode the way I watched my parents be in survival mode. But I naturally put myself into survival mode, just like building my business from like brute force.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't until... I would say, honestly, until I was, like, 25, that I was, like, actually, like, wait, I, like, really want to be a girly girl. I was like, there's something to these, like, whimsical bitches who just, like...
Let's talk about whimsical bitches.
There's something to these whimsical bitches. Like, they make it look so effortless, but, like, I never wanted to
They look
be
graceful.
They do, you know? And
I'm
it's,
not
like,
graceful.
so do we. Yeah.
I am in awe, and there's so many women like that here in Miami. I'm not making fun of them. Like, anybody listening to this, like, I'm genuinely, like, in awe. Like, I watch them, and I'm like...
Yeah.
How do you...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I used to watch women who were really graceful. And honestly, for, like, so much of my early 20s, I was like, I don't feel like a woman. You know, like, I was like, I don't feel like a woman, which I think also when you're, like, 22, 23, like, if you think about it, I didn't have, like, 18 to 23 or, like, 18 to 22 the way that most people go have, like, a college experience.
Yeah.
Like, join a frat. I think it's a little different nowadays. But back then, and I'm sure you're, like, people in your graduating class of high school... Going to college was your whole personality. It was
100%.
like, oh, you're not going to like a state school, like you're going to commute. Like when I I had an eating disorder in high school, so like when I was applying for schools, my parents are like, you are not going to a state school. Like you have to stay home because we do not want you to relapse. And I was like, my entire personality was attached to achievement at that point. Like also back then, there just like weren't a lot of like, I mean, I don't know if you know, like I feel like back then there just like weren't. This is 2016, like. There weren't that many, like, female-led, like, super amazing business coaches. There weren't that many coaches, period.
No,
you know?
2016, 2015, Instagram was a photo app.
Yeah.
It wasn't a video app. I started at 2015.
Like, salad with a Valencia
filter. Yes.
Oh, my God.
It was a photo app. I started travel blogging 2015. And I was on YouTube. Like, YouTube was my primary platform. I've been doing this for 11 years. You've been doing this for... I think 11 years too, right?
Yeah, 10 years, yeah.
So like we've seen the industry change so much. Like I've seen people like hit the moon and then completely disappear.
And crash out, yeah.
And like, why does that happen?
Yeah,
and
like, I think it goes back to like the whole like the conversation we're having about like especially for women in the space where it's like so many people are obsessed with this like overnight success. I just made a piece of content about this the other day. It's like everyone is so obsessed with overnight success, and it's like be careful what you wish for because I also scaled way faster than my nervous system could handle. My identity was not ready for the level of scale. Like I was 21 years old with a team of 20 people. Like I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I had no guidance at the time. There wasn't like really anybody I could lean on or rely on, and it was like I was purely learning through trial and error, and I had basically been like not handed because I worked very hard for the business I had, but like I was basically like running this 7-figure coaching company at 21. And it's like, yeah, of course I did experience a crash out, you know, like I literally, I don't know if you know this, but like in what was that? Like 2019, 2020, I literally met a guy who in jiu-jitsu.
It always starts. I met a man. So what happened was
just me, this gullible little 20-something-year-old. I meet this guy training jiu-jitsu. I like picked up jiu-jitsu literally from the ex that I had dated, which is hilarious. I meet this new guy. He's living in Israel. Okay. So then I'm like, you know what? I think that I'll just like serendipitous. I think I'll just for the plot, just like go spend the summer there. I literally go spend the summer there.
In Israel.
Tank my fucking business, right? Like, I literally go from, like, 112 clients on my own roster, just raw dogging it. Like, I was just, like, like hadn't outsourced properly. Like it was just an absolute mess.
Did you have 20 teams, 20 team members
So
at this
this was
point?
before I had the 21 team members.
Okay.
So I had probably like 15 to 16 at this time.
Okay.
And I like literally left the country. I like basically was like, okay, I need to figure this out. Like
Yeah.
I need to come back and I need to like rescale this in a way that like truly is going to work for me.
Yeah.
And so I had hit a couple of like multi-six-figure years. The third year is when I hit the $1 million year.
Yeah.
And the way that I had done it was I literally came home and was like, I'm going to rescale this thing up in a way that like really makes sense, has integrity, like has the right systems, like the right scalability. And that was like how I truly learned how to scale a coaching business. And like the reason I think today that I am a business coach.
I love that you're talking about that because like I think people don't talk about that so much. I think we see online the front page of the book, right? Like you see the success overnight, you see the followers, you see the bank account, you see the big cash months or whatever. But I think we need to start normalizing, and I think it's happening little by little. But like I think we need to start normalizing the fact that like you will restructure your team multiple times. Like you will have to fire. It is one of the hardest things in running a business is letting go of people. And anybody that's an entrepreneur and has any type of entrepreneurship has been doing it for over 5 years. And I say 5 years because to me, it's the 3 and the 5 year mark where people really either decide they are going all in or they decide, hey, I can't do this anymore, right? And there's never any judgment because, I mean, when I hit my 3 and my 5 years, I was like, do I really want to do this? Can I actually do this? Like, if I'm being honest, I look back and I'm like, I think I was kind of maybe still not half-assing it, but there was still a part of me that was not like fully owning it.
Sure.
And I say all that to say that, like, I think we paint this facade on the online space of, like, or just in general, like, this is how it goes. Like, once you reach this benchmark, and then you'll always make $100,000 a month, and then you'll always have the perfect team, and, like, the to-do list, like, eventually stops. It's like, no. I don't know who in what world and what name decided that that's how it works, but that's not entrepreneurship at all. In fact, like money fluctuates, team members fluctuate, your to-do list fluctuates based on the season, and it's just the ebb and flow, but it is a lifestyle.
Totally.
There is no work-life balance.
Yeah, and I don't think that you need to have this crazy like rags to riches story. Like I always tell people I don't have a crazy rags to riches story. Like I made $10K within the first 4 months of running my coaching business, made $190K my first year, I made $270 the next year. Like I did grow very quickly, and then I had my okay, I need to restructure this and bring this thing back. I don't think that it needs to be like, oh, I have this crazy rags to riches story, you know? Like, that doesn't have to be the reality of it. Right. But at the same time, it's like, you have to recognize what comes with growing if you want to grow quickly. Like, everyone is so obsessed with scaling so quickly, and, like, I've done it. You have to be prepared with what comes with that. And it's not even, like, team and systems. It is literally, like, how do you think through problems? Like, how are you tackling when, like, something doesn't go your way? It's so funny. I posted this last night. It was, like, everybody has this, like, misconception around work ethic. They think it's, like, working harder or putting in long days. And I saw that. Actually, work ethic is the moment where, like, you have the low cash week, where you don't make any sales, where your story fucking tanks. And in that moment, you sit down with yourself and drop your ego, and you're like, oh, actually,
how can I make it better? I'm
the problem. These are my beliefs. These are the narratives that I'm defending. Like, this is what I'm blaming externally, you know, like I'm blaming the algorithm or whatever. And it's like, that is what work ethic is. And I think it's being able to, like, slow yourself down enough, because I think because people want to grow so fast, they feel like they're falling behind, or they're, like, in this weird rat race, or, like, they have to be pumping out, like, 27 talking head videos a day. And it's like, dude, just slow down for a second to, like, think about what you need in this moment. And I think when I was younger, I didn't know how to do that. I don't know about you, but when I first started at, like, 21, when I hired a mentor for the first time, she was like, we really need to work on, like, your mindset and identity. I was like,
what?
I was like, me, mindset? No, it's all strategy.
Woof, it's all strategy.
It's all strategy, you're wrong.
Yeah. I think that we, and I want to ask you, you said before that when you moved to Israel, or you were at Israel with this dude for, like, 3 months, that, like, your business went to shit. Yeah. And then what was the defining, so this is 2 questions. What was the defining moment that you had to say, like, holy shit, I have to come back to this? Because at that point you had a pretty big, like, it wasn't like you were making just 10, and, like, 10K is a lot of money, but still, like, it wasn't like you were just making 10K and, like, you had a few clients here and there. Like, you had over 100 clients. Yeah. So you were you were definitely over $1 million at that point, right?
No, I mean, I wasn't charging a lot of money. I was probably making like 40 to 50 grand a month at the time.
Still a lot of money.
Which is a lot of money for a 20 year old.
Totally.
You know, like we knew that we weren't going to ever work out.
Yeah.
He was like, you have to go home after a couple of weeks of being here. So like I went home and I had to just like face my reality. It's like, okay, I had just moved into a baller apartment before I had left. And I was like, okay, I have to come home and like face my reality. And like, that's what I did. And like, I could have crashed out, but it was like a couple of things. In that time, I will say, I do think I built a little bit from spite. And I do think that a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Whatever. It's like, no, if that's what I can fuel myself with right now, like, that's what I'm doing. And like, the spite was really toward my parents. It was like, when I told my parents I was dropping out of college to move to California, or basically I first went to Florida, like I was telling you, I was like, I'm going to go to Florida for the summer. And my parents were basically like, it's not that they never believed in me, but they were like, we'll see you in August. And I was like, the fuck you'll see me in August? I was like, nope. And
you need that, though. I agree with you. I think that you have like a certain point in time of your life where you have to, I think it's okay for you to build at spite. Yeah. If you continue to build from spite, it will not last.
Totally.
But that grit of like, it has to work. There were many times along the way that I absolutely failed and I absolutely fucked it up. But to get to a point to say at this point in the game, like, I've been doing this for 11 years.
Yeah.
And I take care of myself. Like, it fucking worked.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for sure it was built on some spite and some ego. Today, is that built the same way? No. I mean, like, I let that shit go a very long time ago. Because you can't continue that way.
Yeah.
I scaled really quickly, right? So, like, in 2022, I went from $20,000 to $30,000 a month to 50, 100, like literally within 30 days.
That's insane.
Yeah. And it was like to the moon with the big team, with the whole thing. And when I slowly, at the beginning of 23, like slowly started to like realize that it was about to like blow the fuck up in my face because I scaled way too fast and I didn't have the capacity, the know withal or anything, I panicked. And so in my head, the difference between you and I, what I did is I said, I'm not going to scale this fast. I'm going to scale this slow.
Sure.
And that put me in such a scared of like, what's the next move? What do I have to do? Because, oh my God, I was like surviving. I was like petrified. And it's taken me so long to learn that.
Yeah.
And hearing you say, like, we know the most successful people in this industry, like, move fast.
Yeah.
They move fast and they pick up fast.
Yeah.
But I made it mean so much about myself.
Sure.
And, like, what was wrong with me. And, like, how I wasn't a good entrepreneur or whatever I was telling myself.
Yeah.
So what was that identity shift?
You know, I think that I do still very much possess the, like, fuck it, we ball mindset in so many ways. Like, when people are running in one direction, I'm like, fucking, I would much rather go the other direction. Very, like, rebellious mindset,
Same.
You know? And I think I've always kind of had that in me a little bit. But I think, like, to your question with, like, what was the identity shift for me, I can't say that there's, like, a defining moment where I was, like, you know, even thinking back to then, I feel like so much of my life in those years was such a blur because I was just moving so fast because I was in survival mode. But it was very much like I got back and had to face my reality of like, what kind of life do I want to live? Do I want to go back home? And like, can I also be a way shower for this industry? Like I'd been on social since 2010. So I was 12 years old when I like got on the Instagram app and I started the Justin Bieber fan page.
Oh my God.
No lie. I had 300,000
You're
followers.
a believer?
I'm a believer, baby. Oh my gosh. This is my whole personality. I was like messaging people on Kik and I was like getting paid for shout outs. And so like, girl, I was getting it young, okay?
What a hustler.
I was getting it young on social, and I, like, saw the world of social come up. I was, like, a Tumblr girly, like, all the things.
A Tumblr girly.
All of the things.
Oh, wait, okay, so I have the perfect question for you, because I think, like, so I have this theory that entrepreneurs, we're born to be entrepreneurs. I think that your environment could mold you to be, for sure, but those are a few cases. I think the people that are, like literally successful, like Cody Sanchez, Tony Robbins, whatever, like, from a very young age, you were already running a business. What was your first?
There's a couple of things. I would say there's kind of two that like happened in the same year. When I was 7, I would give my mom and my grandma foot massages for money. That was number one. Then
I love it.
Insane.
Child labor.
Literally. Mom, if you're watching this. I happily did it. I offered. The second thing was, and this is what my mom has a picture of me, I have this little like thing over my head with this like coat that my mom had bought me. I had a sewing machine. And I would get my mom to get me Care Bear, like you go to like Walmart and get like the Care Bear like fabric or whatever. And I started and fluff and I would make pillows and I would go to school and I would sell the pillows. I was 7 years old, okay?
Oh my God, how cute. I would buy a pillow.
Right? And then I was like the whole lemonade stand type of girl in that situation. And then that's when I was 12, I had gotten onto Instagram.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to do these shout outs and whatever else. And that was the thing, just naivety. Like, I had no idea I was playing the game.
It was just from the next thing to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. My very first business was, so we lived on a dead end growing up where we grew up.
Oh, cool.
And so we had a bunch of kids on our block. Yeah. And so we would play in the summer at like every day after school, and I would sell popcorn. So the Costco giant Costco bags, like the life size, like literally like your size.
$3.
Yeah.
You're charging like $2 for a little.
No, not this was back. I mean, I was like, it was like 7, 8, maybe 9. So I would take a cup of like a plastic cup, fill it, and it was like 50 cents for popcorn and then 25 cents for water. And I remember my mom came home and half the bag was gone, and she looked at me and my brother like, did you guys eat the bag of popcorn? And I was like, no, I sold it. And then like I had all this, like, you need to go buy more popcorn. I was like, I had like all these quarters, and she looked at me. She was like, what? But that's how it all started for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I think that like some people are just like naturally born to be like entrepreneurs. I think,
I've always been a hustler.
I 100% was. I'm like, youngest child syndrome, like just. I feel like growing up, it was just I very much like knew what I wanted. I was a rebel kid. Like I was the third one. So it was like, look, you guys are like no longer testing. You guys get it. Yeah. So I was just very much like the kid who like my mom called me the royal bullshitter. I was always like, I'm going to do this and all these big things. And like, at first I was a bullshitter. It was very much like I was. But then like when I started doing the thing, they were like, oh. So now no one, my family just never knows what to expect from me. Like they have no idea what to expect. But, it's just like I was moving so fast. At that time I had like had an Adderall addiction and just like felt like I needed all these things for like to be able to process and work and whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was like in those moments where I was like, Ken, like you need to build this the right way. You need to like pave the way. And yeah, that's what I did. I ended up like building this course when the pandemic hit. That was like $2,500. Mm-hmm. And this is like, it was like the curtain had been lifted. Like I saw behind the veil of what was possible. Mm-hmm. I think I'm 22 at this point. I had scaled my business coaching company. Mm-hmm. My friend was really good at personal training stuff. Like he was really good at like fitness education. Mm-hmm. So him and I built a course together. The pandemic hit. And within that 2-week period of the pandemic hitting, and I was in Hawaii, like visiting my like ex-partner at the time. He was in the military, and the pandemic hit, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to go home. Like, this is crazy. And I called my friend, and he was like, dude, what do we do during this period? Because he also had a fitness coaching business. He was my fitness coach. And I was like, we build a course. We build a course, and we start business coaching. Yep, in 2020. And we teach people how to do this. And we sold a $2,500 course. We sold 200 courses in a week at $2,500.
What's the math on that?
I think it's $400K. It's right around 400, almost $500K. And then I just decided from there, like, I'll just turn this into an accelerator. And that's literally, that year was the year that I, like, seriously started business coaching, scaled out my accelerator, and then from there just like kept taking action on it. And so eventually in 2023 I shut down my fitness coaching business because I couldn't do both. Yeah. But it's actually crazy. Like I was thinking about this. I had both companies for almost 3 years.
That is wild.
But it's just like crazy how like I really do feel like do it for the plot and like fuck it, we ball. Like those are the two mottos that I always just like say. And it's like truly if you live by those things. And like the hard part I think for so many people is like and you know this because every entrepreneur knows this. It's like you're walking into uncertainty. Yeah, but that's what I'm hearing from your story, Ken, is like you had an idea but not really. Yeah. And you were literally like, fuck it, we're going to find out. And then when you realize, okay, this is not the way to go, you just moved faster to like fix it. I also launched a sales agency when I was running my business coaching offer up, and like, I full sent that, and like that didn't work. Like I've had plenty of I've scaled out like a closer agency, and then I shut that down. Then I started a setter agency, and like I've done plenty of ventures that have completely failed. Yeah. And I don't talk about those as much, but it doesn't always work out for me. Now I do believe like it does always, like I really do feel like it always it always works out for me. Weird way. Yeah. But do you think that's woo-woo? No, like I just think it comes down to self-trust. Like even when it doesn't work out for me, it fucking works out for me. Absolutely. And I think as long as you can just like trust the path of what's going to unfold, you show up differently, you walk with more confidence, like, and that's the thing for me is like, for example, when the pandemic hit, everyone was like, what the fuck is going on? And I easily could have been like, the same. I could have been in the same energy, but I was like, ooh, like. This is fun. Let's find out. You know? Okay. So I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Amazing. Okay. Let's do it. Where was the last place you traveled to? Breckenridge. Okay. Where do you still play small in your life right now? Oh my gosh, where am I playing small in my life right now? You know, I think like I'm not taking up enough space when it comes to like getting in front of more people outside of the internet. Like I really want to like do more things in my community. I want to like be on more stages, more podcasts, things like that. So I think like that's one area. And then I think just like my health, honestly, like I'm playing small to some degree there where it's like I think I could be playing a bigger game. Like I love the way I take care of myself. But I want to be hot as fuck this summer.
I love it.
I'm at.
Okay, in this podcast, obviously we're talking to what you needed when you were at a point in your life. So let's close it out with that. If there was a point in time, age, what were you going through? And what was it that you really needed? What would you tell her?
Oh my gosh.
I know that's a loaded question.
Like, I'm just going to say what came as a download for me. I think it's just like the version of me who was like 18, 19. I'm going to cry. It's like the version of me who was like 18 and 19 that was just like a raw dogging the fuck out of life. And it was like you can, like, you don't need external validation. Like, you can just love yourself. Like, that is enough. Like, it's enough for you to just literally love who you are. Like, you don't have to seek external validation. And that's it. Like, love. I literally have this tattooed on myself. It's like a morbid insomnia. It's like love conquers all. And like, I truly believe that with love, everything will work out. So.
Love that. What a way to end it.
I
love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me here. I'm so happy we did this.
I'm so excited.
This was the last minute send too. It's so fun. But yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram. I have my own podcast. If you just type in Kendall Strampel, my full name, you'll find me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Now you know where to find her. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you on the next episode of What She Needed.
Slay!
Yes! That was so good.
That was so good, dude. Wow, we could have talked for a little